almost throwing rocks at our enemies. Like we're gonna throw rocks at together. I hate that it comes after Black Friday when everyone's already spent all their money with the big box stores. Now it's like we're launching 30 new things every single week. So it could be like an hour-long phone call with me and it's my voice.
Hi, I'm Ashley Alderson.
Which is so creepy. And a bad year will not kill your business if you let it.
That was Ashley Alderson, founder of the Boutique Hub, a 14-year-old membership and education company for independent boutique retailers, with over 7,000 paying members and counting. Today, she's getting into the holiday she invented to fight back Black Friday, the 30 creatives a week system she runs after Meta's update, and the AI voice clone of herself that she gave her members. And wait till you hear about the mentor line about a bad year that I have not been able to stop thinking about ever since she shared it. Let's get into it. Ashley, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I want to talk about how you've built this incredible business, because it hasn't just happened like flash overnight. You've been doing this for 14 years. Like, 14. How does that sound when you hear that?
Oh, there's a lot of lessons packed into 14 years. I don't know. It seems like a long time in this world.
It's a huge, like in the internet years, it's
in
like,
internet years.
That's a gigantic amount of time.
I've had a lot of gray hairs, lived a few different lives, I think, iterated a few times. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Like the iteration of the business and how it's grown and blossomed into what it is today. It didn't start there. So like, let's talk about the beginnings of it. Where did the initial idea come from?
So initially, I grew up in North Dakota, middle of nowhere, not a lot of places to shop. And I had an opportunity to do some traveling, like college, after college, first career, that sort of thing. And I fell in love with boutiques. Like I just fell in love with—
What do you mean by a boutique?
Like just an independent retailer, whether it was downtown in a big city or it was like a rodeo in Reno, Nevada, and it was a pop-up booth. But it was all this cool stuff I couldn't find when I got back home. And this was sort of like pre-social media days, right? So this is going way back. And so I thought, man, if I could just build a place for people like me in the middle of nowhere, because I felt like fashion specifically was New York and it was LA, but there's a whole segment of us that are not that. And boutiques to me were that thing. So I thought if I could just build this place where we could all find these cool stores and it's like an online shopping mall, like that would be the thing. And what I realized, I worked in economic development before starting this idea, and I had this main street, small town, 1,600 people. There was 2 stores on the main street. There was like a department store and a Western store. And one day, the Western store announced to the community they were going out of business. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that's terrible, but what are we going to do about it? Pretty soon the next day, the department store comes into my office and they say, hey, you have to help us. We have to do something to put somebody else in this Western store. And I was like, why? Like now you can carry their lines. You've got more people coming to your business. Like there was 2, now there's 1. And they're like, wait, you don't understand. Wherever 2 or more like businesses come together, you become a destination. And I was like, okay, this is like a huge light bulb moment for me. And so I eventually, like within a couple of years, we moved from North Dakota to Wisconsin. And I kind of carry this concept. I have an opportunity after leaving economic development to build this online shopping mall of boutiques. And so it was that idea of community over competition from those 2 stores where they came together and created a destination. It was kind of the fuel for what I wanted to create at the hub. And so I started by building the online shopping mall of boutiques, but I ran into a chicken and an egg problem. Like there wasn't enough shoppers and there wasn't enough boutiques to satisfy one or the other. So I just started to feed people information. A lot of entrepreneurs are former stay-at-home moms or nurses or teachers or, it's like a second career. And they don't know business. And so I thought, well, I can teach you every concept I know, but I can surround myself by people who are much smarter than me and they can teach you what they know. And then in this whole idea of community over competition, like we can pull everyone's information together and become a destination. And so that's kind of how the business evolved. But it didn't work initially. It wasn't a plan on paper I had. It was just testing and iterating and trying to figure it all out.
So the initial idea was, we'll bring a bunch of boutique owners together, and that'll create the destination. And then it'll attract a bunch of people that want to buy stuff. And then through that, more retailers and boutiques will want to come because we got all these people coming to this shopping place. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I thought it would be awesome. And I had it, but there wasn't enough of either one. And at that time, I didn't understand. Facebook ads weren't really even a thing. Like it was like brand new, if anything. And so it didn't work. So I thought, well, I can just sell the information. And there was no such thing as a membership site that I'd ever heard of. I'm sure it existed, but I didn't know about it. So then I pivoted and thought, well, I'll just create this place that they'll subscribe to, and then I'll just teach them business versus trying to sell them access to customers.
So instead of it becoming a destination that had outside customers coming and buying their stuff, it was like, I'm going to teach them how to sell more stuff.
Right. Yeah. Teach a man to fish. you'll feed them for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from there, it's evolved even further because it's, there's so much more that you do than just a memberships per se. Let's talk about how it's evolved since then.
Yeah, there's been lots of twists and turns, but the membership is still the base of everything we do. And we look at our membership as like, no matter what size of business, no matter what type of retail business you are, online, offline, like that's the core place. But then stepping up from there, we launched Retail Bootcamp, all the way back probably in 2017. So that's been around. That's a $2,000 course. We launch it twice a year. We give everyone lifetime access to that. So some people have come back like 7-8 times and they continue to go through that kind of like a live 14-week coaching program with us.
And you're teaching them what in that program?
To us, that's like college for boutique owners. We have a signature 6-layer system. We refer to it as the 6 layers of lasagna. Super random. So that's been a huge staple. And then our highest level is Boutique Hub Black, and that's an elevated membership. And that's more about just specific to organic and paid marketing.
And how did you know that the market wanted this other layer about, specifically with the ads?
Yeah, Boutique Hub Black's our newest. It's only been around for about 2 years. And I feel like we were starting to see more churn in our regular membership. A lot of our membership had already gone through Retail Bootcamp, and we were kind of stuck with, okay, where do they go from here? We had a mastermind, but it wasn't super hands-on. Like, let's get into your business one-on-one and dig into the details. And so what made Boutique Hub Black really special, and it had a lot of iterations when we first started, but we give people a one-on-one coach. So now you come in, you can learn the like one-to-many lessons, like we'll coach every single week, but then you're assigned a one-on-one support system where every week you've got 15 minutes to check in. How are your ads performing? How's your website performing? And so it was that kind of one-to-one model that we really had never relied on because it's tough to grow a business with a one-to-one model.
Yeah.
But in those little like intervals, it made Boutique Hub Black work.
I want to unpack that a little bit later because I got some questions around that.
Okay.
But your membership has been your staple.
Right.
Why do you believe in memberships?
Well, recurring revenue and just like predictable, who am I going to serve next month? How do I get people on a journey? A course I've found, people come in and they lose interest right away and they pack it away and say, someday I'll get to this course. But a membership is like a constantly evolving, living, breathing creature. The business market, like take COVID, for example. Like when COVID happened, it's probably one of my favorite points of the membership because these retail stores that were mandated to shut down were panicking. Like, what do I do right now? And in a membership, you have an opportunity to say, okay, here's the most up-to-date information. We're going to teach you how to go live. We're going to teach you how to live sale. You're going to start doing cooking shows from home, even though you sell purses. I know it's not related, but it's the content we're going to create. And with that idea of community over competition, it's not just us teaching them like you would in a course, but they're all teaching each other, and they've built such a camaraderie and a bond. I just think a membership is the best way to do that.
How did you grow your membership? Because there's a lot of different things that you can do. What were some of the strategies specifically that worked well for you?
Early on, it was definitely word of mouth, affiliate marketing. Even though we didn't pay, we just asked people. Like, we didn't even have a real set up, solid system. We were just like, hey, tell your friends, here's the benefit and here's how you do it. We did a lot of collaborations. So
talk to me about that. What does that mean?
Collaborations?
Yeah, like what were you doing?
We do like in-person collaborations. So in our market, retailers have to shop wholesale. So they would go to Dallas or to Atlanta or Las Vegas to a wholesale mart. So we would collaborate with the mart itself that would house, thousands of wholesalers in that building. And retailers are going there like 3 to 4 to 5 times a year to replenish their stock. So we said, okay, how can we come in and create a destination for your wholesale market? Like, we'll attract more retailers for you to come and learn. And in turn, like, we'll get the retailers to come and join our membership. And then we started to do that with the individual wholesale brands as well. How do we leverage the brands as members of the hub to access their audience of retailers? So it's all kinds of shared marketing depending on what their business model was.
But I love this though, because it's a win-win for everybody. It's like the wholesalers win because they get access to more retailers. Retailers win because they have access to the wholesalers, and you guys win because it brings everybody together.
Yeah. And really a unique perk of our membership now is because of the size of the membership, the wholesalers will say, hey, if you're a member of the Boutique Hub, we'll give you a 10% discount on all of your orders.
Wow.
And the retailers are like, hey, we trust that the Boutique Hub has vetted every single brand that we're buying from, so they want to do business with our members.
Right.
So when you go to a wholesale market now, this is something I'm so proud of. When you walk down the hallways, you'll see pink Boutique Hub stickers all the way down the hall because they want to signify, like, these are our people. We're a part of the Boutique Hub. You should trust us. And then the retailers do, and they get rewarded with that discount in return.
So the beginning was a lot of referrals, collaborations. Now, how has it evolved? What are you doing today that's
and-
really moving the needle for you? Hey, real quick, Ashley's about to walk through the exact playbook that she uses to run 30 new ad creatives a week and pull in 500 new opt-ins every single week. And I know you might be watching this somewhere where you can't take notes. Maybe it's in your car, on a run, or at the gym. Don't sweat it. I've put together all the notes for you. Her Pink Friday, Anti-Black Friday Rebellion, her 30 creatives a week playbook, and her $5 a day Facebook ad starter are all in the free resource kit linked in the description below. So just sit back and enjoy the conversation.
Now it's tons of paid ads, opt-ins. We probably come up with one new opt-in or lead gen a week that we're pushing out. And then we have 2 huge live events a year. One in January called the Best Year Yet Challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. And then in June, we do a summer school. What's interesting is we kind of leverage our membership and our highest level course together to sell both of them at the same time. So the course that we launch, Retail Bootcamp, is in January and in June. But like the secondary effect is our membership blows up at that time, because if they aren't going to take the course, they're going to take membership, or maybe they're going to take both together.
So you're using ads to drive traffic to this now. What for you have you learned when it comes to ads? Because a lot of people are saying ad costs are rising, it's less profitable. Like, what are your thoughts around that?
Well, this last year was huge with Meta, with their unveil of Andromeda. The way Andromeda works in the algorithm has completely shifted how we create content. So now, I mean, you used to target people based on specific interests, demographics, location, and you had different ad sets for all of these. But now it's kind of more you let Facebook's AI go create all of that for you automatically. So now the power is in your hands as a creator. You have to create a ton more content. So where we used to maybe have, I'll say like 2 or 3 new pieces of content that we would push for ads specifically each week. We would update a few different ad sets. Now it's like we're launching 30 new things every single week. Is it a testimonial? Is it a live video that we're now broadcasting with ads? Is it some kind of like short form funny video? Is it long form educational? Like, we're trying to test all of these different mediums to see what the algorithm is going to pick up. So yes, it's a lot more work, but I feel like we've had a lot more success when we've taken that approach as well.
So you've embraced the tools that Meta is using to its full extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so when you're coming up with those different ideas for your ads, where are you pulling from? Do you have frameworks for it? Is it ad hoc? Is it like where inspiration comes from? Where's it?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Some of it is spaghetti on a wall, but a lot of it is like, just like hook story offer. Just what can the hook be? How can we leverage it? I built out this elaborate, and I may burn it down at some point, but I built out this elaborate like spreadsheet model where when I'm feeling creative, I will just document all of my hooks, and I could create a video on this, this, and this. And then I will take all those hooks and I'll say, okay, here's how I would attach that to these 3 different core offers that we have. And then what's the seasonality of all those things? What's the teachable moment I could attach to those things? And then I just have content days where, a videographer will come over and we'll mass produce as much as we can. And then whatever works, we'll try to double down on that and get more of that. Same with testimonials, like what testimonials are converting the best for us on ads? And then how do we ask more people for a really similar type of testimonial?
So when you're looking at your content, what numbers are you looking at?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just mainly ad performance, like where's ROAS? What videos are actually getting any type of click or engagement? Organically, I'm looking at what are people saving or what are people sharing to story? Like what kind of viralocity, I guess, could we get? We're also tracking opt-ins per week. So we want at least 500 new opt-ins every single week because we know we can convert a certain percentage of that. Probably like 10 other things I haven't even mentioned. Those are the biggest.
So are you using ManyChat for to drive opt-ins from Instagram and Facebook?
We are a little bit. I feel like we're still pretty, I don't know. We aren't leveraging ManyChat the best we could. We're driving them straight to an opt-in page to get them on the email list.
Oh, I see. So in your content, you'll have a call to action to go to a certain page.
Right.
Gotcha. And then you mentioned that you were creating like a new opt-in every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that. Like, what's the strategy behind that?
We have an amazing email marketing guy who loves to create content. Basically, what he's doing is he's looking at all of our membership data, like all of our training library, downloads, checklists, videos. We're seeing what are people engaging with, or this week in our Facebook groups, what are people asking? And then he's taking whatever we have, he's feeding it to ChatGPT, rewriting something or adding to it, sprucing it up, and then just in Canva, filling in a template and just launching it. And he's launching it 2 ways. He's launching it to new people. So we have like a non-member email that goes out every Friday, and he's saying, hey, take this resource, opt in, whatever, we're going to sell you membership. But then he's also feeding it to members, and he's making it a benefit to members. So our members get what we call a monthly action plan, a map. And the map is a web page, and it's February in retail. So we're pushing Valentine's, right? So the map is giving them very specific action items on how to push Valentine's in February. It updates every week. The free resource gets added to it every week. And our members stay because they feel like they're constantly getting the most up-to-date information based on their business right now.
So for them, it's like they're relying on you because you got the finger on the pulse of what's going on, and they don't have to do the thinking. They just get served up on a silver platter, like all the latest thinking. But at the same time, you're leveraging it to attract new members.
Right.
And so let me ask you, do members get their feathers ruffled seeing that material from the membership is being given away for free?
I wouldn't even say sometimes. Once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of our members, they're just happy to have the value. Like they'll still show up for our membership webinars where we're selling membership. And then they'll get in the chat and they'll tell everyone, I'm a member. You should be a member too. It's so awesome. Like they're our biggest advocate. So I would say early in the business, I saw more of like that once in a blue moon. People would get upset. Anymore, I think they're just excited to have the value. And they know that there's so much more inside of our membership that people aren't getting access to.
I bring it up because in the membership world, it's easy to get spun in 1,000,001 different directions, thinking about problems before they're actual problems.
Right.
And I see this, like I've even been in this situation where I remember one time we had our knickers in a twist because we were so worried about protecting how much existing members have paid for certain stuff. When new members came in, they didn't have access to everything. They had to pay almost like back issues of a magazine. So they would have to pay for that month's,
Okay.
And it was a good idea in theory, but it was a terrible idea from an experience standpoint because new members would come in and then they would see old members like talking about or raving about a past piece of content. They'd go to access it, and then there's a paywall that says, you got to pay for that back issue. And they're like, you're nickel and diming me.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, but we're protecting, the integrity of what others have paid for. At the end of the day, we just removed all that. And when they joined, they got access to everything. And our existing members weren't upset at all, but it dramatically changed the whole experience for new members. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we were worrying about problems before they were problems.
I think we also assume that people see everything we do and they know all the content that we have. And it might get old to us, but our members have no idea. Like there's such an abundance of information on the internet.
Yeah.
Like it's just another day. So how do you just solve people's problems today and quit worrying about what they do or don't have and create more issues that don't need to be?
It's funny you say that. I had somebody literally last week who has been in our community for years.
Yeah.
Had no idea that we have 2 levels of masterminds. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know we have 2 levels of masterminds? What?
Yeah.
It was just, that was, to your point, like we assume that everybody knows everything. They don't.
And they don't read.
Yeah. So let me talk about the culture that you've created, because that's pretty special when you've got like your retailers that are helping each other, supporting each other, showing up on your webinars to tell others about it. What have you done to cultivate that kind of a culture?
I think it's gotten to the point that it has because we've had to be like radically honest and vulnerable. I think that's a really important piece to building a community. I hate fluff. There's so much fluff on the internet, and there's so many big promises that are undelivered. And so anytime I've had a negative feedback situation, I've always tried to capitalize on it from the stance of, let me show you how well I can serve you through this negative moment. Or let me take a stand on something that maybe will ruffle a couple of feathers, but at least you'll know my heart and my integrity when I do that.
Do you have an example of that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, COVID was a big time. Like there was so many different things happening during COVID, and there was people believing that we should have this regulation and that. And so, just coming together and just saying, hey, this is the stance that we're taking, and, choose whatever you want to choose, but here's how it's going to be here, and here's how we're going to support each other here. Let me say this example. Shein and Temu, a lot of people are familiar with those business models. Those were such a huge detriment to retail. And so people were coming in saying, hey, my e-commerce business, Shein and Temu, were ripping off my photos, in their huge factories in China. They can reproduce these products overnight. They can sell it back at less than wholesale cost to the American consumer. It's making me look like a terrible business owner. Like, there's just a lot of problems. Taking a negative situation, being vulnerable with it, showing like kind of each side of the story, but then kind of rallying together and together, almost throwing rocks at our enemies. Like, we're going to throw rocks at Shein and Temu together. That was like a radical moment for people to be, pick a side, be vulnerable, make a choice, and it brought our community closer together.
It's interesting too, because, when you formulate an enemy around, let's say Temu, like this big company, it becomes so much easier to bring people together because now we have a focal point.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I still to this day, like on our Instagram account, the things that get shared the most are the times when we're talking about supporting small business first or something against Shein and Temu. We actually came together. We created a nationwide shopping day called Pink Friday. It's always the Friday before Black Friday because I love Small Business Saturday. I'm all for it. But I hate that it comes second. I hate that it comes after Black Friday when everyone's already spent all their money with the big box stores. And then the small business just kind of like gets what's left. That's crap. So Pink Friday is always a day to support small businesses first, always a week ahead of time. And so now we have like stores all over the world that support this day. For a lot of them, it's a record sales day. There's not the noise of the Black Friday weekend, but together they're throwing rocks at their enemies. They're telling their customers who they are and what it means to support a small business. And it's made a huge impact on them.
Let me ask you, because I know that somebody watching is thinking, yeah, but if I like start tossing rocks at my enemies, like it's going to get controversial.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to field some heat, may get a little spicy. And I don't know if I really want to, get involved with that. What would you say?
I would say Donald Miller's story brand is like the best example of this, right? If you took it back, it doesn't have to be some big name brand that you're just going to like roast their business. That would be bad PR. Don't do that. Shein and Temu are a very unique example. But what if you just started with somebody's like limiting beliefs and you made that the enemy? So if Donald Miller, he talks all about, who's the hero of the story, who's the wise guide and who's the villain. So if your job is to be the wise guide and to make your customer the hero, you're like just trying to serve your customer and you're the wise guide that supports them. And then you have to announce who's the villain. So who is the hero trying to defeat? Is it a limiting belief about money? Is it about body image? Is it about lifestyle? Like choose that villain first and throw rocks at them together. I think that's an easier win.
Yeah.
Wise guy.
But it's powerful. It's powerful in messaging. It's powerful like from within your community, but it's also powerful on a front end marketing standpoint because now you've got a point of view and it's easier to stand out when you got a point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So do you leverage these topics of conversation, we'll say, within both the membership and in your front end marketing?
Absolutely. Yeah. So in the membership, I really like to write. And I love to go to Facebook in our Facebook groups, on a random day after something's happened in the world. Like I'll probably leave this mastermind and be like, okay, let me break it down for you guys. And I'll write about whatever the thing is in the world, whatever the spin is on it. So we'll use it there, but then I'll probably take the same thing and just take a tiny little piece of it and I'll make it a short form video and I'll put it up on Reels and my Instagram stories probably like we'll kind of leverage it both places, but members always get the most.
What's your rhythm for content? So you're creating content for the membership. You're creating content for your front-end marketing. What's your rhythm for both?
Oh my gosh, the rhythm's all day, every day with content. Do what you do best and hire the rest, I would say. I have an amazing team. I cannot take credit for it. We have an amazing social media manager, graphic designer, and then a support gal as well. But literally every Monday we'll meet. We'll go through what's the plan for the week, like what do we need for content, what's already batched that we can kind of pull up, and then what do we need to create this week. So we're always kind of working at least a week ahead by like what do we need that's coming, and then everything gets pre-scheduled for content. So we're posting multiple days or multiple times a day on every single platform. Everything gets pre-scheduled so that we can then react throughout the week to say we're going to handle all of the comments. We're going to see how much traffic we're generating this week. Do we need to go back and double down on content? Like what's working, what's not? Do we need to throw in a couple more Facebook Lives somewhere? But at least everything's like pre-scheduled ahead of time.
So you're pre-scheduling on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube?
Mainly YouTube right now is our podcast. So it's a lot of syncing on YouTube. And then we'll take all of our shorts from Instagram and put it on YouTube as well. Pinterest, still there. LinkedIn, still there. TikTok, still there.
And where do you find your best buyers come from?
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. I feel like Facebook is a more qualified buyer. Instagram's highly engaging for us, but I think it's just easier for people to buy on Facebook.
Moving forward, what are you most looking forward to as you continue to grow your business?
Oh my gosh. It's, you said this today. It's the wild, wild west right now.
Yeah.
AI is changing things so fast. And I mean, either you're going to adapt or you're going to get significantly left behind. It's a little bit scary. So that's kind of the direction we're leaning is how do we use AI as a tool that can make our clients' lives better? So we want to serve them the tool that's going to make their life easier, get their goals faster. But the kind of flip side to that is AI can be a wonderful tool, but it will never replace an authentic human experience. So they can't replace us with AI. They can't replace you with AI, right? Like who you are, how you serve people, your individual content is still so important. So I think it's still going to be kind of both sides of that coin that we need going forward.
How do you maintain your personal connection with your audience?
I love video. So Instagram stories, both on my personal accounts, but then also on the Boutique Hubs accounts. Going live, we go live. It's not just me, but I believe in like a SEAL Team 6 model to our membership. I felt like if the business was just completely built around me, like that's really susceptible to something going wrong. So everyone that's on our leadership team has like a ninja skill. So they all go live and they teach their own ninja skills.
So it's not just you, it is like your team who are also a face within the membership.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. I think you've got to leverage your resources, partners, like build in different areas of expertise.
And so using AI more, where's your head at in terms of that fit with what you're currently providing?
Oh man. Well, our latest AI that we've implemented that's a part of our membership is we use Delphi to create a Ask Ashley clone. I love that because we could take all the work we've already done over 14 years, every video, every checklist download, all the things, load it in to the AI bot, and then automatically sync all of our newest YouTube videos, podcasts, live trainings, like anything we add automatically goes there. They can search it just like ChatGPT, but it's custom to our business and then it remembers their business. They could do a phone call with it. So it could be like an hour-long phone call with me and it's my voice, which is so creepy. They can talk back and forth with it. And then it'll reference, like if I'm talking about ads or content strategy or being a CEO versus an entrepreneur, then it will link back to wherever that lesson came from. So that was a huge win, but I think our shift forward from that is how do we create more of a SaaS company opportunity? How to create a digital download or a tool or something that's so sticky in their business that they can't imagine doing business without it. That's where we want to go with AI in the next year.
What would you say for entrepreneurs that have they validated their idea and their product? They've started to attract customers, but now they really want to grow. I mean, you've grown this membership to over 7,000 plus members. I mean, that's significant growth. And that's, and then you've got all the other layers of membership and offers on top of that. But what would you say to that person who's at that point where they validated the idea, they've got customers, now it's time to grow and scale?
Never forget to double down on who your customer is. Like, continue to do surveys, continue to build your avatar, like speak to the riches are in the niches. So keep doubling down on that with just incredible raw authenticity. But then I would say Facebook ads. I would say pour some ads on that fire. If you have a proven concept, if you have a funnel, if you've got email marketing built in, like put some money behind it and see what's possible.
Come on, Ashley, someone's going to be listening and we're like, but that's scary. I don't want to just dump money. Like, speak to that fear because like there's a real fear of like, I don't want to just like waste a whole bunch of money.
You can start with $5 a day. Like it's so minimal to start now. I feel like Facebook knows. I mean, that's how they built their whole business, right? Like it's a gambling business, but it's a money printing business. You can start so low with $5, see what works, test, iterate, and then continue to go from there. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment.
I think that's probably one of the biggest mind blocks is like people think it's an all or nothing thing. It's like, no. You can like dabble and, dip your toe in. And then when it feels a little warmer, you can get it in further and where you go.
I would say too, it's not something like I'm a big advocate of do what you do best and hire the rest. Like find people who can do it for you. But in the land of Facebook ads, I think people have monopolized that and taken advantage of people. So yes, you can find a great agency. There's wonderful agencies out there, but you can do this on your own. It's not hard. There are tons of resources. Obviously, we provide that service, but there's all kinds of people who do. You can learn Facebook ads yourself. You can do it in a couple of minutes a week. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. And then you aren't outsourcing a huge fee to go with that ad spend.
Final thoughts for everybody as we look to wrap up here as it relates to growing their business and improving their marketing.
It's not a linear path. There's no straight line to success. I have failed more times than I have succeeded, but I feel like if you're not winning, you're learning. Like there's always an opportunity. If something goes wrong, if you feel burnt out, like whatever it is you're going through, like there's always tomorrow. A great mentor of mine told me this once. He said, a bad day doesn't make a bad week, and a bad week doesn't make a bad month, and a bad month doesn't make a bad year, and a bad year will not kill your business if you let it. So I think it's all a choice that you're going to make and how you're going to show up and do something different tomorrow.
Where can people go to learn more about what it is that you do?
Yeah, theboutiquehub.com has all the things. Or me personally behind the scenes, it's AJ Alderson on Instagram.
Amazing. Buddy, that was epic.
That was Ashley Alderson. If this episode shifted how you think about community, paid ads, or taking a stand in your marketing, then hit subscribe. So we got new episodes that drop every single week. Put together a free resource kit with all of Ashley's materials for all of her promotions, plus her playbooks and her Facebook ad starter kit. Just scan the QR code or grab the link in the description. Now, next week, we have Emily Bernborg. Now, she built a thriving membership in a niche most creators would have been too afraid to bet on. Well, we're getting into how she did it and the moves she made when nobody was watching. You won't want to miss it. By the way, she also talks about getting more than 60% show up rate for her webinars and converting over 40%. It's a great episode. You're going to love it. See you next time.